Good morning.
How are you
It's
guys?
Christmas.
Uh-oh.
We got
I
Santa
gotta turn
Keith
off
here.
my. Look at
Kinda.
Santa. I love that you busted out the oh naughty. Um that's fitting. I oh that's hilarious.
Give me the nice hat.
That's so funny. Um I love that you busted out the robe.
Oh,
That's
well, I
awesome.
got to tell you, this is the holiday robe. You got to have
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
it's cold morning. I threw it on. I still got the PNS shirt on, but then I
Nice.
bust out the holiday robe for the occasion and have a little fun today.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So funny. All right. Well, good morning, guys. It is early. I just want to get my complaining out of the way. It is 7 degrees here.
Mm.
7,
Mm,
7.
I'm not even gonna fight you there.
Yeah.
Blame
My
all you want.
garage is freezing. It's
I'm
freezing.
I'm in
Mm.
Arizona and
Yeah.
weather's nice. It's chilly, but it's not cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot
Cool.
of folks on today, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Wayno, good to see you, my friend. He's in Boston. I don't know how cold it is there, but a good chance it's about the same as for you, Sid. Looks like we got Bob's on today. We got Cruz on today. Josh Pierce, good morning, my friend. We'll run through. Hey, Hans and Gabriel are here. That's awesome. Thanks for being on, guys. Terry Foreman's with us. Mike's Auto Detail is here. So we are rapidly gathering our folks. Yeah, Cruz, it's 31 here too. I'm just wearing the fuzzy robe and called it good. So I'm going to bounce off of here and get in the background. But Merry Christmas, everybody, and let's
Thanks for showing us the robe.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Let's see. Gosh, we had a big week last week. Still kind of recovering and getting back to we have to work today. Well, you don't have to, but I do. All right. So last week we were in Hayward. I'm sure, as most of you saw, we got to sneak away to PNS headquarters for a couple days. And last week we had a Secret Santa contest or giveaway. Wasn't much of a contest. It was a giveaway that was so fun. So we released a video last weekend. And then we both flew into Hayward on Wednesday and got to have a lot of fun. And we got to choose some Secret Santas and their friends to receive lots of fun gifts. And so if you guys didn't see all that, go back to our social media channels. There's TikToks on when we did the giveaway and then also when we packed the boxes. So that was super fun. So that's what we did last week. That was awesome. Did I miss anything?
We just had a great time,
Yeah.
with the staff at PNS. We
Yeah.
enjoyed
Oh, yeah.
getting pictures with them,
Yep.
for them for the website and for other,
Yeah.
I think Bob has some really cool uses for the staff pictures. We just had fun getting them to smile,
Yeah.
letting them know we appreciate them, because really those are the soldiers that get stuff done. They
Yep.
pack all the pallets and stack
Mhm.
everything and bottle everything. We watched them fill
Yep. Yeah.
products, which was a lot of fun. Some of our compliant car care stuff, we watched them fill Express.
Hmm.
And we even watched Dave do a little mixing,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. Well, we'll have
Hmm.
some video we'll put up on the Instagram and TikTok later. We'll save it for
Yeah.
a little later, but it was a lot of fun. Just getting to know them, and then they had a lunch for the all the staff,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah, it was really fun, and I think that is something that we don't. It's a side of PNS that people don't get to see. So I'm kind of excited that we were able to get the pictures that we did, and that we can start utilizing those. I'll probably share one on social media today. Um, because we get to have all the fun out front, and there's this whole warehouse side, right, that does all the dirty work, if you will. I mean, they're mixing and packaging and boxing up, and I mean, it's crazy, and they're all such great guys, and so it was really fun, really, really fun to get to spend some time with them. And people that do those jobs, they're very reserved, and When we first told them that we were going to take their pictures, they looked at us like we had three heads. And man, it ended up being so fun. Like we got one guy's picture, and then everybody was all about it, wanted their
Well,
picture
we
taken.
kind
So
of, showed them, hey, look, so and so took this great picture, and then everyone was like, well, I want a great picture.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it made it so much fun, and we got to know their names, which I always
yep,
say hello when I'm there, but
yeah,
now I know more of their names, and they know
yep,
my name, and
hmm
um, they really do a really great work for everyone. We should appreciate
hmm
them,
yeah.
because without them, we wouldn't have the products. So
Yeah. So when you do see us post those photos, everybody in this room, make sure you give them a lot of love because, I'm sure word will get back to them and they'll really appreciate that.
yeah,
So we were there during the week, and then on Friday afternoon, Rennie and his crew, Chris Woolman, everybody showed up, and they had a big event at PNS headquarters in the training center on Saturday morning. It was the kickoff to his new education series, which is coatings, no, coffee, coatings, and profits. And it looked like a great time. There was donuts, coffee. They were in the training center. It looked very cold. But I think they had a great time. So that was really great to see. So basically, headquarters last week was, hopping the whole week. So super, super fun. Lots of fun stuff happening. We got to go into Steven's store. That's where we got to do our videos from, and he's got a really cool tree. And it's funny that it's just a totally different vibe, right? And it was fun to be there at Christmas time and have the Christmas trees decorated with coating bottles and bead maker bottles and stuff. And so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
it was chilly inside those buildings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And those big cement buildings, it gets cold in there all day. So
hmm
uh,
Yeah.
it was different from then when we were up there late in the summer. But
Yes. Ramiro says the event was amazing, but it was freezing. Yeah. It gets cold in those warehouses. And I guess San Francisco right now is unusually cold. So, they're not normally prepared for that. But yes, we feel you, Ramiro. We were freezing, absolutely freezing.
well,
And so I'm sure it just got colder.
and we
And
have
that
to
was early morning
mention
too.
Ian too. I mean,
Yeah.
Ian's the little elf that takes care of
Yeah.
all of the online orders.
Yep.
So just watching him go, he's a
hmm
machine. I watched him build a box in like half a second, and then
Yep.
fill the boxes and label it, and then he gets a forklift and puts all
Yep.
the boxes on a pallet, and then he drops them outside and ready for delivery. And he's a machine. But it was a lot of fun being around Ian. He does a great
Yep.
work as well. Don't want to forget him and everyone in the office.
hmm
That are very, very important to not just, well, more to our distributors.
hmm
They're the order. We have Matt, George. They're taking care of the orders and the payments. The whole staff up there, not just the warehouse staff, was pretty
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Super fun. So that leads me into my product of importance last week, which it's not actually a chemical product, but I have to give a shout out to. So my pro product last week was Josh Pierce sent a box that I was to take to Hayward. And in that box, I found a beanie, which I was assuming it was for me because there was only one. And it was the coolest beanie. And you guys will see it on probably the next Bead Maker coffee, but it had the PNS patch. He had it custom made. That was the star of the show. Everybody wanted the beanie. And it came in clutch because, like we said, it was freezing there. And so thank goodness I had that beanie in my bag. I ran to my bag and threw the beanie on. I was so cold and it saved the day, literally, because heat escapes through your head. So, but then it was so funny because all the warehouse guys, everybody was like, "Where'd you get the beanie?" And it was really cool. So thank you so much, Josh. I'm sure you'll be hearing from Bob on that because then he was like, everybody's going to want these beanies. So it's just a really cool beanie. So thank you so much, Josh. I very much appreciate it. And everybody else loved everything else that was in the box as well. So we won't give it away yet. Yes, Gabriel, I was wearing it in my interview. Yes, it was very
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Totally
that was
jealous.
that was my product of the week last week was the beanie.
Well, I really didn't think of a product of the week because we got to play with so many products that week.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
it was a lot of fun watching Dave blend up
mhm.
my favorite product of the year. And I'll just say, actually, let's do that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
Absolute was my favorite product of the year,
yep,
and
yeah.
just the smell in the warehouse, it was so good. When he was blending, it was those guys get to smell some good stuff while they work.
Mhm,
That whole thing, it's so aromatic. But
mhm.
Absolute is my product of the year since this is probably our last Bead Maker and
Oh,
Coffee
yeah, it is.
2022.
2022, it is.
So I'll say Absolute for me.
Nice, nice. Well, if I had to pick one of the year, it'd be Legend.
Ooh,
I did a lot of Legend this year. I need to
yeah,
count. I'm working on a TikTok called the Summer of Legends, and because I did a lot of Legend this summer. So my product of the year would be Legend, and then Absolute. I didn't. I mean, I would have said that if you didn't say that, but yeah, I love Absolute.
yeah,
So Joe Kimball wanted to know what PNS compound or polish does Kyle use on his head? It's looking extremely shiny
yeah. You
today.
know what? Thanks for pointing
Other
that
bald
out.
heads
Now I'm
want to
all.
know.
The light is right above me. I don't have my normal ring light, so this is Kyle's RV and boat restorer. It moisturizes as
Yeah,
well. Thanks, Joe. Now I'm gonna have to go grab my hat.
yeah, yeah. Now that's
um,
gonna force me to release another TikTok today.
yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, too
This is
funny, too funny.
freshly buzzed, and then polished with Kyle's boat and RV restorer.
Yep, he knew it. He knew it.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
He knew it. So, guys, feel free to send in your questions. We're ready to answer. So, like we said, this is our last Bead Maker coffee of the year. I think our next one is literally like the 2nd of January. Oh, no, we said we're going to push it back a week. It'll be the 9th of January.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the last one because like the holiday season
Well,
is,
while
I
we're
think
waiting
Christmas is like 6 days away.
questions, let's do a recap of this year. Talk about some of the highlights and things that
Hmm.
we've done at PNS and that our
Hmm.
partners have done. There's been
Hmm.
lots of great Park and Shine events.
Hmm.
There was Monterey. There's one. There's SEMA. Mobile Tech
Hmm.
last year was great. I think that's where we kind of kicked everything off.
Hmm.
Um, Sydney and I both did presentations at Mobile Tech. So if you're going to Mobile Tech this coming year, we're going to do one together
Hmm.
on social media, kind of the basics of social media and just getting motivated and started doing it.
Hmm.
Because there are people who aren't doing it or are kind of scared and intimidated by it, both on the
Yep.
detailer side and on the kind of the product side.
Hmm.
So we'll be doing a class at this coming Mobile Tech, but it really started this coming or past year. And we had the Sidekick come out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Reset towel came out this year,
Yep.
and Absolute.
Absolute. Yeah. That was a big one. Yeah.
Oh, Dressed came out this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Dressed.
a great ad, especially during the silicone
Hmm.
um, increase of 2021 and 2022. It was a great alternative. Still works amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, um, what else can we talk about? Love
Yep.
Sina.
Yes. So let me put this out here real quick to you guys, because since it is our last one and it's a week before Christmas, throw out if you could write a letter to Santa Dave, what would be in it? So put that in the
Yeah,
comments if you could write a letter and ask Santa Dave for something for next year. Put it in the comments. So let's see who said this. Can't see my, oh, Kyle Camus. Yes, Kyle. Hi. Um, SEMA was great. It was awesome. It was awesome. Loved it. And then Anthony Brown Jr. wanted to give a shout out because we have, I believe, since the last Bead Maker Coffee, we've actually lost two people in the industry, which has been just absolutely heartbreaking to watch. Chris Evans, and then, of course, Daryl Lyons, Big D, passed away last week. And, we send our sentiments to their family. And I mean, what a awful time to lose a family member. And just sad. So, I appreciated watching the industry kind of rally around those guys. And so, I believe there's going to be some type of memorial at MTE. So that will be nice. But yeah, just so sad. So sad. So thanks for mentioning that, Anthony, for sure.
Yeah, there were some really, really nice posts out there for both Big D
Yep.
and for Chris.
Yeah,
Said,
we can't wait till MTE either. It is like right around the corner. Like I think it's like 20-30 days away, which is so crazy. So crazy. So yes, we cannot wait. That'll
what
be
did
fun.
we do this week? Why there's questions coming in. What did we do besides that? While we were there, we met. We discussed, upcoming products and upcoming events, and we have a lot of great things planned.
Yep.
The whole team did a great job of planning, and yeah, and so that's why we were there. Along being little elves, we did those other things. Oh, all right. So we have a request for Bead Maker air freshener.
Yep. And dynamic.
They want dynamic back.
Yep. And yes, Gabriel says, you know what I was going to ask. Any news on the Air Force air freshener? Nope. I love the name of it though.
Yeah. May get in trouble for using that name.
I love it. Oh yeah, true. Okay, this is a good question that I have like the girl answer for. So I'm gonna let Kyle take this one, and we might need Keith to come in. What makes a compound gritty?
Well, so from what I understand, within the compounds, there's different types of abrasives. Abrasives come from the earth, or they're manufactured, and from what I know, is they're mined. And there's companies all over the world that make these abrasives. They're like powders, and they get blended in with either solvents, oils, different types of, I guess, abrasives or compounds are like liquid sandpaper is the best way I would put it. And so different sizes, different grits, different, some of them kind of break down a little bit over time. Some of them are super rock hard and they don't break down at all. So they just keep working. But yeah, it's the abrasive that makes it gritty. A lot of times in our newer compounds, you can't really feel the grit. Back in the day, I used to go to body shops and do work, and they'd smell it because they'd want to smell the solvent and stuff and know like what it's going to soften the clear, and then they'd feel it. And the grittier, the better for cutting out like heavy sanding marks. Now, some of the newer abrasives, well, a lot of them, you can't feel the grit at all. I can't. And a lot of them don't smell so gross anymore. There's an old compound I used to use on boats from 3M, that kind of brownish orange looking heavy cut. Man, if I smell that, it triggers me to back when I was like 16 years old. It just takes me back in time because that smell, I remember using that a ton, that 3M heavy extra cut. And so that's what is gritty, is the abrasives in it. I don't know the micro stuff, but we have Keith on and he's going to tell us more about it.
Yeah. So, anymore, you really don't feel the abrasives. Most abrasives now, they're called diminishing abrasives, are based on aluminum oxide or some sort of a micro silica or micro abrasive. The older school stuff was probably a diatomaceous earth is what they would call it, like a pumice, basically a ground, mineral. And so that's where you would feel the abrasive. Today, you don't feel it anymore because they're either a superfine or microfine abrasive like an aluminum oxide, or they're heat activated. And then a lot of the compounds today are chemically just mostly a chemical cleaner more than they are really have an abrasive in them. So the technology is quite amazing. And if you ask Dave that question, he'll get you probably a 28-minute answer with the really the right science and the right stuff. But if you're using something with abrasive in it, you're probably using not an old product, but an old school style product. And they have a definite place when you're starting to get out really, serious damage or abrasives. But anymore, you probably won't feel grit in the compound. So
That's why we used to call it rocks in a bottle.
we used to call it rocks in a bottle.
Yep.
And most of the time, they're when they put a grit on there, it's not the grit of the product; it's the grit of the sandpaper mark that you would be able to take out with that product. Here's the thing: it doesn't mean you took the swirls out; it just meant you took the damage out. So you still got to deal with the aftermath of swirls or hazing or whatever from the product. It just meant that it was going to get the damage from the sanding marks out at that abrasive.
And what would you say is our most gritty? Well,
Ballistic probably is our most aggressive, our most gritty. Probably it's hard to say we have one, but it would be probably extra cut compound. Yeah. And extra cut is, again, from our rotary line when we were, when everybody had rotary and that's all that you had. So, ballistic's a newer product. It's actually newer than Ego and Deep Finish, but it's really kind of our super heavy compound for the DA and actually doesn't do bad as a rotary product as well. That was a lot of questions. I'm going to get out of here.
That was like one of the best questions I've had in a long time, though. Very good question, Mike. Thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Great question. All right, next up. He's trying to find one. There's a lot that came in during that. Okay, so this is from Kyle Camus. He says, I want to send Dave to bring me some Absolute. I haven't tried it yet. Thanks, Santa. We will see if he can bring you some. I believe he's going to see him in Colorado, right? I feel like I heard that. Yes. Okay. This one is from Nick Vecchio. Big thank you to PNS for donating the products for Operation Sleigh Shine that was held at my shop on Saturday. So yes, we had one more Operation Sleigh Shine at Nick's shop this past Saturday. So that was awesome. Everybody that participates in that is just, it's such a great, awesome program. It looks like Keith wants to talk about it.
Well, I just want to mention that there were 6 other shops that did it the week before.
Yes.
So and we missed all of those, but
I guess we didn't get to talk about it. I was thinking
we really didn't. And so, to all the shops, and really a huge shout out to the guy who's driven that from day one, Scott Macha. I mean, what a great guy up in Maine, wanted to do a good thing, and he just started it on his own. First year, and every year he's added a few shops, and now there's some mainstay shops. But Scott has done an outstanding job there, and it's not fair to not give him almost all the credit for that. He does some great things for some families, and he did it at a grassroots level. So if you think you can't make an impact in the industry, guys, you really can.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Scott's brainchild, and he stayed consistent over many years. And now it's definitely making a great impact. And he's led the way. So really proud of Scott Masha for doing that. Great person.
Yep. So this is a fun question too. Does PNS have an all-in-one with protection? Yes, they do. So there's kind of 2 right now, right? So the one that we kind of re-released this year is UCP 1987, which is the first product that Dave made for PNS back in 1987, and it is going to give you, pretty good correction ability. I mean, it's definitely not just a glaze. Works really good. It's an awesome ceramic corrector. That's what I use it for the most. And so that one came out this year. And then what's our other one, Kyle?
Well, we have Playmaker, which is a minor cut, and it finishes out really nice and leaves behind the same technology and protection of Bead Maker.
Yeah, so, it's infused with Bead Maker. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I still like to top it with Bead Maker afterwards.
Yeah.
Just to add some more protection and layer. But I had some great success with Playmaker. And really have fallen in love with how versatile Ultra Coat polish is, because it saves the day so many times for me. I love it.
Yep. I love all the Dear Santas. We're gonna have to run through those. Those will be fun.
Dear Dave.
Good morning, ATD. Dear Santa, I want to try Playmaker. So funny. All right, so Jamie the Cleaner is asking for, Dear Santa Dave, odor neutralizers in various lovely PNS scents, a
Mm.
silica spray sealant with possibly the same scent as Soul. So a peppermint one, that's interesting, and a dedicated rinse aid for the bead cannon. Someday, I'm going to need somebody to explain the rinse aid to me. Actually, I saw Jamie doing it the other day, and I thought, I have a bottle of that, and I wonder what people use it for. So, Jamie, someday we're going to have that conversation. Somebody needs to sell me on the rinse aid. I don't get it. But I don't do bucket washes, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Dear Santa, I want to try Playmaker. Mike, aren't you near Steven's shop? I feel like you could try whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabriel, with what is the lowest temp you can still use inspiration view?
Well, didn't you
That's a
just,
good question.
well, not view? Oh, we just learned this was Soul the other day, where it was cold
Yeah,
and it took over.
yeah. So I did not have
Um,
any problem with view, but Soul, though, for sure, it was too cold in my shop and it was not flashing off. It was just kind of staying, so it made the wipe off not great because it just kind of pushed it everywhere. I couldn't get it to flash
how cold
because
do you
it was
think it
too,
was in your shop?
oh man, it
40s?
was, yeah, low 40s maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You definitely got to get it
Yeah.
warmer in there to do those things.
Yeah, so view, Gabriel, I think is really going to depend on the temperature of the glass. I don't think it's going to be so much the ambient air temperature, but more the temperature of the glass. So, for instance, like if I had a car that had been sitting out overnight and then I tried to immediately wash it, polish it, and coat it, that might be a little too much. So like if it were me and a car had been outside, I might leave it running for a bit with the defroster on just to kind of warm up that glass a little bit. Because I really think that the temperature of the glass in that case is going to make a bigger deal. So if you needed to warm up the glass by having the car running outside, of course, um, that's what I would do. And
Mhm.
Alex says, Dear Santa, I don't want to be cold anymore. Amen. I have been freezing the last couple weeks. So again, I said I wasn't going to complain again, but I am because so last week I was in Hayward, the week before I was in Portland, both of which I always expect to be warmer than home. And so I always kind of look forward to, last week I was like, oh, I'm going to California. I just need to take my spring jacket. And I
Yeah.
froze the entire time I was there. And you know what it is though, is then I came home yesterday and it was like 11 degrees and I'm out grocery shopping, walking to the mailbox and it's 11 degrees and it was cold, but not near as cold as I was in Hayward. But the difference is it's completely dry here. I mean, there is not a tick of moisture in the air, and same Portland, so much moisture in the air that I think it was like, I don't know, 38 degrees, but it was frigid when I went to Portland. And so, yeah, I froze the last 2 weekends, even though it was colder at home, but we have really dry air here. So it's not like wet cold.
Yeah. It's a wet
Yeah, I'm
cold.
tired of being cold. I feel you. And I feel like we're also just starting. I feel like it's not going to get warm until April.
Yeah.
So there's no hope for me. All right, detailing vibes. What are some ways to reduce scratching and marring when washing the car using the two bucket method?
Well, since I do a lot of washing in this way, I just watched a video, really good video, where someone was mocking the bucket method on TikTok, and I gotta admit, it's kind of true. Where it could be overkill sometimes, where it's going to take forever to wash a car. Now, if you're washing a vehicle because you're going to detail it and correct it, then just rinse it, foam it, use a bucket, clean your mitt often or have a few good mitts and deal with it. If you're trying to protect your ceramic coated vehicle, the beauty of ceramic coated vehicles are they're hydrophobic. So a lot of the dirt comes off with your foam and your pre-wash. But I would just make sure that you're always going in one direction, because no matter what, you are causing some form of friction. Very, very light friction, but you are going to be causing it. So that way, when you do micro scratch, it is more pleasing to the eye to see things in one direction than in the whole Mr. Miyagi style.
Yeah.
You go up and down, side to side. I know this because I do a lot of RVs, and they're big, they're flat, and if you wash them with the wrong, brush, you will scratch them. If you wash them with too gentle of a microfiber or a lamb's wool, you don't get the dirt off. So you have to find that happy medium where you're not scratching the heck out of it, but you're also getting the dirt off.
Yeah. And
But
my answer here is, I think that I've never been one to say that somebody needs the best of everything. That's just not really my style. But here's one where I'm like, don't cheap out. Your wash media really has a lot to do with this. So
yep,
not only what you're using to wash the car with, the towels that you're using, and then the drying towel. Don't cheap out on any of those things. So if you're using a wash mitt, a sponge, towels, and then obviously the drying towel, like don't cheap out on that stuff. That is the biggest thing that's what's causing the scratches. I went to a car wash yesterday because there's a new car wash in town. So don't come at me, especially you, Keith, because I know how you hate car washes. Just kidding. He totally loves them. So I went to a new car wash and they had really cheap towels. So I'm sure that my friends at the rag company is probably on this new company in town, but they had really cheap towels. And as I was drying up my car afterwards, I was like, here's the failure point. Here's the failure point. These towels are terrible. So that's just my add to that is make sure you're not cheaping out on your wash media and towels. That's actually what's causing quite a bit of the issue.
yeah,
For
that's
sure.
a great point. I don't use
Yeah.
my drying towels very often. I blow dry most of my vehicles. My towels are for the light stuff,
Yeah.
but most of the vehicles we're doing, we're polishing. So I don't see
Yeah.
the micro marring
Mhm.
unless it's on my own vehicle. My wife's car looks great. My truck is all marred up. I need to recorrect the whole thing. It's about 3.5 years old, so it's time to do something, but got to find
Mhm.
the time first.
Yep. Yep. I think it's also good, on some of these vehicles. I like to put stuff to the test. I don't mind inducing micromarring because it's really easy to fix, especially
Yeah.
on ceramic. We'll go back to that UCP 1987. So I actually don't mind introducing micromarring because then I know where it's coming from. Um, and so I like to see what's causing it. So I can tell you a lot of it is the towels. Um,
This is a good comment about
yep.
if it's ceramic coated, using a pre-wash,
Yeah.
in straight lines, going from the top to the bottom, using multiple mitts. That's all great.
Mhm.
My
Yep.
only caveat
Perfect.
is don't spend 3 hours washing your car.
Right.
If you can
Yeah.
do all of that quickly
Mhm.
and efficiently, if because we have businesses, and I know some of you are doing this as just to enjoy an enthusiast, but if you're running a business, you can't take that long to wash a car.
Yep.
uh, if you're doing it because you enjoy it and because it's your Saturday ritual and it's zen for you, all these great things, take all the time you want.
Mhm.
um, but we as detailers, we don't have the time to use a different mitt every single
Mhm.
panel. It would just take forever,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
would
So be
cost
surprised.
you $200 to wash the car, and no one wants to pay that. So
Yep. Yep. And then we always have to remember there's just, I don't know about you, but there's just certain vehicles you cannot wash them without marring them. I
yeah,
have a black Audi that is coated in Legend and Soul and all the stuff that every other car that I treat is coated with. And I mean, this thing, you look at it and it scratches. It just does not matter. It doesn't matter. I've tried literally washing it with cotton gloves and not really, but you know what I mean? And it's just, it just scratches. So this is actually from Jason Bruno. Kyle,
okay,
what kind of blower do you use to dry your vehicles?
great question. So I have two different kinds of blowers. For my maintenance details, I love using my Ego, my 650 CFM Ego. It's great. I have like 4 batteries for it, so it can last me all day doing mini cars. But that's for maintenance because I don't have to get it perfectly dry. If it drips a little bit towards the end, we just wipe it up. But when I'm doing a ceramic coating and I want 100% perfectly dry, I use my Metrovac Air Force Master Blaster. because it focuses more air into the tight stuff, the grooves, windows, the jams. I love it. Works so great. So I have both. Just depends on the situation, and it'll take a long time to blow it dry. But you know how it is. If you're going to ceramic coat something, you cannot have a water drip from the door handle or the mirror just come right through your panel as you're coating. And so those are the blowers I'm using.
Yep. Cool. Detailing
Good
Guide
question.
says always using the rag companies and then using the blow dryer to dry off the vehicle and then a quick detailer to use the final touches. That's exactly what I do. Because I'm mainly doing rinseless wash. Rinseless wash doesn't really work with the dryer to try to actually dry the car. It's just kind of weird. And then, as we all know, I do the clay and seal thing, so it definitely doesn't work for that. So that's what I do. I towel dry the car and then I blow it, get everything out of the cracks, creases, letters, all of that. And then I go back over and touch up with the towel and a detail spray. Usually comes out perfect. Yeah, 35 minutes to wash a car. That sounds right on point. Yep. Jamie, keep your towel game strong.
Yeah.
I have things that I have OCD about, and the towels are one of mine for
Yeah.
sure. Pretty OCD about my towels.
I think your
Alex.
daughter is pretty OCD about her towels too.
Oh God, yeah, she's maybe a little bit worse than mine. She likes hers perfectly square. I don't really care as long as they're
She
good
likes
towels. I
brand
don't
new
care.
towels every time she touches a car.
Yeah, she likes brand new and perfectly square. She would prefer for them to be A+ grade from quality control, as she told Jeff Hedden.
That's so fun.
That was pretty funny. I think she was like 12 when she did that too. She was like 13. It was so funny. Alex, having good towels and wash media is the same analogy as good tires on a car. It's literally the only thing touching the car or the ground. So don't cheap out. Exactly.
I like that analogy. I'm
Yesterday,
doing that.
there's a group that I don't ever comment in, and there's nothing wrong with the group. I just don't ever provide feedback. But somebody yesterday, it kind of triggered me. They said, what is the cheapest polishing pad? Like and I was like, oh, hold on. I'm entering this one.
Yeah.
You can't have cheap polishing pads. Like that's your first mistake. So yeah, I had to laugh at myself because I just kind of had this like personal rule, like I don't engage with that group. And I was like, whoa, hold the phone. I didn't even know I was part of this group, but hello.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
You don't want to cheap out on your polishing pads either because they touch the
No.
paint and you
Nope.
want quality. There's a few good brands out there that make some quality foam and quality microfiber and wool.
Yep.
Stick with those. Don't cheap out.
Yep. Okay. Love this question. This is from Anthony Brown Jr. Any chance PNS can bring in some assortment of towels such as the liquidator? Actually, Anthony, we have them. We're bringing them in, and I know that we are bringing in more towels. Like we've brought in the FTWs. We have the FTWs in all the colors. We have the 365s in several colors. And Keith, just shake your head because I can see you. If we do, yes, we do have the liquidators. We just haven't put them out yet, but they're there. They're in the warehouse. We just need to put them out. But we do have the liquidator. And we have the gauntlet also, right? Yes, shake your head. Yep, we have the gauntlet too. And so, yes, we have them. We just need to get everything all listed in the portal and everything, Anthony. So questions like this are good because it pushes us to do it. So thank you. How about a PNS car blower? Whew. I'm going to answer for Keith, who's doing this in the background. You know what? We would never want to literally ship machines. I'm going to guess that's what it is. I mean, those are big to ship. They're not economical to ship. We'll just leave those to the blower guys. The Flex Ego blower is amazing. I highly recommend picking one of those up, which you can get at Lowe's now, which is so awesome. All the stuff that goes with them, that whole Flex system. I mean, I know Kyle's got lots of parts of it. I mean, that's just a cool system. Really, really cool system. So,
that's just a time saver. I just love how fast you can be. But for me, the Metrovac is still the GOAT. It's just I have to take
it's
it out
kind
of
of
the
heavy,
van.
right? trying to think.
plug
I
in
mean, I've used
a
one, but it was a long time
yeah,
ago.
30-foot hose, and then I have to run it off the generator, the Honda EU
Mhm.
3000. I can't just plug
Mhm.
into someone's house because
Yeah.
that bad boy trips breakers. I mean, it sucks major
Yeah.
juice, and so that's why I don't pull it out every
Mhm.
time unless I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I still use the ego.
Yeah.
I'll have one of my guys pre-blowing the vehicle with the ego, and then I come by and I start doing all the tight stuff.
Mhm.
The mirrors, it's always the mirrors, the mirrors and the
Yeah.
handles, the emblems,
Mhm.
all the stuff that needs
Mhm.
really good. And I have compressed air, but
Mhm.
I think just the Master Blaster just pushes out more air. It's hotter. It just the volume is very very
Mhm.
direct. Um, and so that's a great question, but I don't think we have any interest in that. I think if we're going to have tools and accessories, they're going to be there to complement our line, like the Sidekick
Mhm.
or like our Detail Factory brushes.
Mhm.
But I think right now, the tools that we're going to stick with is selling the polishers that we already offer. Um,
Yeah. Blowers are big. They take big boxes. They're awkward
yeah,
shape. Yeah. But you know what you could do
good
is you
idea.
could put a sticker on it.
Yeah, we just sticker your ego or sticker your Master Blaster or
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to convince Bob to come back out with those, just the silhouette of PNS stickers. What do they call those? Like the vinyl cutout.
the cutout.
Um, yeah, that would look great on an ego blower.
Yeah,
So would we get those? Anthony, how we just make stuff like the rags to riches and the absolute squeeze bottle. Sometimes you just got to do arts and crafts on your own. So
yeah.
yeah, yep,
Jamie knows that.
yeah, Jamie. We'll watch for that TikTok. That should be fun. All right, next up, we've got let's see who's this. Oh, Anthony again. Speaking of Detail Factory brushes, any chances of getting more options? Well, that is a rabbit hole. Um, I don't know. Maybe.
We've discussed them.
Hmm.
Um, if that's on your Santa list,
Yeah,
uh,
just Santa, bring in the ball brush. You know what's funny is the ball brush, honestly, when that first came out, I thought that's kind of a silly tool, but I use it. I love that thing. It's
yeah,
awesome. It's awesome. And then I saw people were using it on tires, and I really want to use one on tires, but that's going to be like commitment. That's like a $30 tire commitment.
I have to try out that new ball brush that they just brought out. I'm not sure what
Yeah, the black
theirs
one.
was
I
on.
love arts and crafts too.
Yeah,
Follow me for more tips on the fine, I'll do it myself plan.
yeah, exactly.
Gabriel, TRC have they do have towel bundles with the off-road labels. Um, yeah, those are out there, aren't they? Yep. So those are coming. I know they've snuck in. A lot of people have seen them, but yes, they do have off-road towel packs. I'm sure that those will be coming out anytime here. They're very cool packaging, and we're excited about that. So that'll be cool. They are specifically bundled to go with the PNS off-road line. They're
Yeah,
even
they're
matchy
colored
matchy.
and
Yeah.
they are um, catered, or what do
Yep.
we call that? They're
Yep.
designed to go with them. That we paired them.
Paired them. Yeah. Yep. Uh, Anthony, send Keith your wish list.
Yeah.
Everything you want. Everything. All of it. Um, Daniel says, I have a small gap, 1.25 inches between my rotors and the face of gloss black rims. I use Brake Buster. Can you suggest a tool or method to clean without scratching? Well,
Hmm.
I would start with how I do a lot of the gloss back wheels that I do is I do use the crystal wash method, mainly because I would prefer to lift as much of that dirt away from the surface prior to agitating. Um, so I do it with crystal wash and with brake buster right over, scrub the tires with the normal scrub brush. And then on those, I actually do use the Detail Factory white, the synthetic brush to clean those. And then that way, because you're not needing like that major scrubbing when you're using the crystal wash or Iron Buster ahead, but I feel like the crystal wash is a little bit easier to agitate. And so that works for me on the glass black rims, but they just scratch. I feel like they scratch no
All of
matter
them
what.
scratch easy, no matter
Yeah,
what.
no matter what you do. Yeah.
So I've always, when I have a tight space like that, I've used a microfiber towel and just put it
Mm-hmm.
in there and kind of, done my best to floss in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Detail Factory brush works great. I don't know if the new barrel blade, the new thing from Ian, will fit in that space. That's pretty tight, but I've been fun. I really like that wheel brush. That's really nice. I
Yeah.
like to bend it, and it's well built.
Yep. Yep. Romero says, any squeeze bottles for Absolute in the plans for next year? Sorry if I asked this already. You know what? I just realized I forgot to ask about this in our meeting this week. So I will revisit this. So, I know 100% we will not be ever selling Absolute in the squeeze bottles. I know that for sure. What would be interesting would be to see if we could sell the empty quart bottles like we do our quart spray bottles.
Yeah.
So how we're doing the arts and crafts, we're making our own. It seems like it would be easy enough just to make, pre-label the bottles like we do for the quart bottles. So I just need to revisit that with Bob and Dave. If that's an option, it seems like it's, pretty easy.
We can see if we can have Ian just add that bottle to the website, and
Yeah.
it would work for people who want just to buy the bottle, just like we sell other empty bottles.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
So
allow.
let me revisit that. That was something I completely forgot to bring up at our meeting. So I will check with that. Microfiber wheel woolies on glossy rims. Yeah, I use the wheel woolies a lot too. I do use the
Yep.
little one for that. So I do like the wheel woolies. I just destroy them pretty fast. Jamie says, besides Absolute, Express Sidekick is probably my PNS product of the year. I use and abuse those things and they still look brand new. Yeah, those things are rock stars. If you haven't tried one yet, I highly recommend it. There's nothing else that holds up like that. They're amazing.
It's one of those things where we wanted it to work, and it almost works too well because there's no planned obsolescence there. We
Yeah.
didn't plan that thing to die within,
Yeah.
5 cars. It's literally,
Mm-hmm.
I'm destroying them, but you wouldn't believe the things that I'm doing to them to get them to that point. From cleaning the bottom of airplanes with major grease to scrubbing tires and wheel wells. They are holding up, and the only reason that they're falling apart is because I'm hitting sharp objects with them or nuts and bolts. But other than that, it's a great tool. I'm so happy with how it's come out, and
Yeah.
I love that my hand fits in it and I don't drop it on the ground all the time. So good job,
They're
Sid.
amazing. They're amazing. Thanks, Jamie, for saying that. Because yes, we love the Sidekick. That was a fun project. All right. Next up, we've got. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Who's that one from? Rick Kolb. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Good morning, dude.
Rick got a new air compressor for Christmas.
Oh,
That's exciting. Let's see, who's this one from? Samantha. Good morning, Samantha. I saw Samantha got to attend the coffee and coatings. That's exciting. But it's still, I can feel the cold coming from the warehouse when I see those pictures. Too funny. Any other questions, comments? I just see lots of good mornings. Chat. So any more Santa wishes? Did we miss any? I know I saw lots of air fresheners and dynamic, lots of dynamic. We'll have to send those to Dave. Lots of dynamic. And then let's see, we've got one. This is from Rick Kolb. Hey, Kyle, what's a good degreaser for underplanes?
well, I still usually go back to EnviroClean. it's very safe for me, and I can adjust, its cleaning ability by its dilution. So there's some bottles I have are full strength for really, really heavy grease and oil, and the others are 10 to 1. And I'm really loving EnviroClean for that. And something I do have some other brands, or actually I don't even know who makes the product. I have some really aggressive citrus cleaner. But as far as P&S goes, I feel confident EnviroClean is doing a great job in making my life easier.
Awesome. Yeah, I know for a fact Kyle uses a lot of EnviroClean on planes.
Yeah,
During plane season, that's always his favorite product of the week.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's just for light black streaks to heavy grease.
Yeah,
Um, I'm
yeah.
not doing as many of the Delta planes as I did before. That's where I
Uh-huh.
was using the Sidekick with a bucket, and I was literally just wringing out the into the
Hmm.
bucket all the grease and stuff, down by where I guess the landing gear would go, kind of
Hmm.
around that area. It's really greasy. But EnviroClean, the pre-treat, little Sidekick action, and then wipe with a microfiber towel. It was killing it for me. It was super nice.
Yeah. Gabriel's asking for bigger containers and faster shipping to Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any control over that, but I hope it's speeding up though. I mean, do you think it's speeding up? I feel like maybe it's not as bad as it was a year ago. I remember that order last year took like 8 months to even ship or something. I mean, and it was, obviously like the shipper's issue, but yeah, that was crazy. Um, all right. I saw, Keith, a message from Mike regarding the ceramic scratch thing, and I did want to answer that. I saw that earlier and we missed it. Um, this is a great question. New thoughts on the diamond coating and coating scratch resistant. So I can only answer the last part. I have not used the new diamond coating, so I can't really speak on how it goes on. I've heard great things about application and all of that. But I personally, it makes me nervous when people say that things are scratch resistant. Years ago, I was an installer for a coating that claimed to be self-healing, and it was not. It was not possible. So I err on the side of not overselling the coating. I think that I would have issues saying that it's scratch resistant because I'm pretty sure that my customers, we live in the desert, they're super active, they could scratch anything. So
Yeah.
for me, I would be nervous saying it was scratch resistant because just like with the self-healing coating, when I sold 3 of them, and those customers were, I mean, you kind of create monsters out of your customers because for me, where I'm in an independent shop, they believe everything I say and it's my name on that bottle. They don't know what brand I use or what coating I use. They don't care. They're buying what I'm selling them and myself. And so if I say to somebody, oh, it's totally scratch resistant and they get a scratch, they're showing up on my door the next day and I don't want that. So I just always am nervous about when there's claims saying it's scratch resistant. I'm sure people could scratch it. I'm sure they could. That doesn't mean it's not a good coating. I think every coating can be scratched. I think that we have to make sure that we keep coatings where they are and not oversell them. I know when they first came out, everyone totally oversold them. And for me and my business, the coating game is much more successful when I just focus on what the coating is supposed to do. And that's protect the vehicle, be a long-term protection, and be chemical resistant. That's it. I don't even talk
Yeah.
about scratches.
A lot of
I don't.
detailers got themselves in trouble when they,
Yeah.
were saying, how they last forever, no scratches. This is years ago. And there was a lot of
Hmm.
complaints from people. They're like, well, I scratched my car, or, well,
Right.
I've had it for 4 years and it's not, performing.
Hmm.
People were, getting complaints. So obviously the hype died down and backed down a little bit,
Hmm.
and found a happy landing spot where it's like, look, this is the best protection out there. There's
Hmm.
nothing better as far as hydrophobic and and gloss. If you want, a protection that is a film like Clear Bra, then that's the next thing, but that's still not going to protect the paint the same way as a coating will, and the coating won't protect the same way as a Clear Bra will.
Yeah.
So had to find those happy places where you weren't using the words that gave people false hope.
Yes.
And I think we're at that point now where coatings have landed at a good spot.
Yep. All right. Jamie says, Dear Santa, Sydney and Kyle, we need more YouTube tutorials or vlogs on the PNS YouTube. Oh, I totally know. It's on my list. And I work with the rag company on a lot of the videos, and it's just finding time for our two schedules. So definitely that's on the list. Early in the year, that's the thing, is early in the year is when we have a lot of extra time to film stuff. So we've got a list. And then I see the next question is crystal wash. That is top on my list. So that will be the next video that I do, will be the crystal wash and the brake buster. And I've also requested that we get new labels on the crystal wash. So we'll be hitting the crystal wash thing hard. It is amazing. And so, yes, that will be the first tutorial that comes out at the beginning of the year. And I am working with Gabe and the rag company on finding a time to do that. We were supposed to do it last week, and things got, we had 5 inches of snow. So yeah, so we had it scheduled last Monday, and there was 5 inches of snow when we woke up. So needless to say, it didn't happen. But yes, we will. No problem. All right. That's funny. All right, next up, Mike says, my vote is Jamie works for the PNS social media team and makes the videos. Oh, you don't like my videos?
Yeah, come on, man.
Ouch. Jamie does a fantastic job. I think that's the thing is, Jamie and what he does is so authentic, and he's just himself. And we appreciate all the videos that he does. And he just does a great job. He has his own style. I think that a lot of times when things become too overproduced is when they are not real. So I appreciate, Jamie's being from his shop. I try to do videos from my shop. It just shows that not everything's in a studio. I mean, I love the rag company studio, don't get me wrong, but I think that I love Jamie's videos. They're great.
He's just authentic.
Yeah.
And that's, really, really important these days.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Wesley says he's talking about D-quartz. Diamond Body doesn't make that claim. That's good. I didn't know that. And it can be taken way out of, Keith is fast with those comments. Taken out of context too easily. I can't read that fast. Yes, for sure. Okay. So then how about dilution charts for products? This has come up. This is from Samantha. This has come up. We just would have to put that together. And the thing that's kind of crazy is some products can be diluted one, like for example, Express, 1-to-1. But so there's some products like EnviroClean that are going to have several different dilutions for different jobs. And then there's other products that you're only going to want to dilute a certain way. That would just take a lot of time to put together. But I think it's been on our ticker for a while. And then I always love Keith.
Jump on in.
Yeah.
So all of the chemtrail products have the chart on the back of the unit, and most of our products kind of say if they're really designed dilutable products. Express was never designed to be dilutable. It can be, but all of our design stuff, it does say on the label what the dilution ratio recommendations are or general recommendations are. But chemtrails are really clean. It's all on there, and it tells you even what tip to use in the chemtrail. So there you go.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. And then, Anthony, you're not boring, Kyle. He's just tired. You know what? Kyle didn't say where he's at, Anthony. He is in Arizona. He's actually on vacation with his wife. And I'm sure they were up late last night partying. They're at a big event in Arizona. So, Anthony's mentioning that you're yawning. Nobody's boring him. It's really early. Yep, really early. So I love this comment. Eric says, good morning, guys. I recently took the one-day detail class offered at the training center and feel way more confident in my work. Big shouts out to Printa St. Clair, Bob, and Dave. They're great. That one day is so great. So we actually last Wednesday got to arrive during one of Prentice's classes. And that was so fun. It was hilarious because he called me with a question, was having some challenges on the vehicle that they were working on. And he called me, for advice. What do I do here? And I said, Prentice, I'll be there in 2 minutes. And it
Yeah.
was so funny because I was literally on my way there and we were almost there. And I said, buddy, I'll be there in 2 minutes. And so then we all got to walk in and help him. And that was super fun. But his 1-day classes, you guys, are awesome. Prentice does such a great job. The detail studio is set up so nice. It's just a really homey, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. And then this month opened up the detail studio classroom. So it's a new addition to the studio. We got to have our meeting in there. It's amazing. So great. So super excited for that program, and we'll have lots more information. We did just set our calendar. So, over the next probably 2 weeks, we will have those dates loaded up on the website. So if you go to the PS Detail Products website, under training, you can find all the dates and he has 1 day for, just kind of overall, auto detailing. And then he has the coding certification classes. So make sure you check those out, but definitely worth the trip to Hayward, because not only do you get the class, but you also get like a tour of the facility. You get to meet the great warehouse guys we were talking about. And actually what's cool is one of the fill lines is in the detail studio.
Yep.
And it's like the coolest fill line. So it's just a cool vibe. Like you're there and the products that we've all seen, are right there, being filled behind you. So super cool training if you're looking for, just kind of a kick in the butt and a new you for 2023. Definitely check out those classes with Prentice. They're awesome. That's so funny. So Sam asks, how much Crystal Wash in the Brake Buster? So here's the thing. I haven't mixed them yet. I have had people ask me about that. So I don't mix them, Sam. I spray the Crystal Wash, and Keith is doing this behind the scenes. Don't mix them. So because you want the Crystal Wash to do its full strength work before you put the Brake Buster on. So I spray the wheel pretty heavily with Crystal Wash. I do all 4, and then I go right back around. So we're talking minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. And then I go back over, spray the Brake Buster full strength right on top, and then on the tires as well. So I don't mix them because I feel like, a lot of times when we say we mix stuff, we degrade both power, right? So I put them on full strength.
Yeah, the Brake Buster is gonna neutralize the Crystal Wash. So you want the Crystal Wash to cut through the calcium, the iron, all those things, because it is a mild acid, or an acid that's safe enough for it, and then come back with Brake Buster for the grime on the tires and on the wheels. Essentially, just like we would have used Iron Buster, but this is a different, usage.
Yep.
And so I've had great luck with some, people park next to sprinklers. They have really light water spots or really, really, really bad brake dust buildup. Oh man, Crystal Wash works so good. It really is nice.
Yep. So Tony, this question, I feel like I haven't done my job as a brand rep. Do I need a chemtrol now?
Duh. You have a shop.
And he's been in my shop several times. So now I feel like I haven't done my job.
I love my chemtrol.
It's like the coolest thing ever. It's the coolest thing ever. And somebody asked me the other day, they said, why would you need that? It seems so overboard. I'm like, no, you have no idea. You have no idea until you get to hook up Absolute on tap. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Just for Absolute
on
alone.
Tap.
It's awesome. And I obviously had it for 2 years before Absolute came out, but Tony, yes, you need it. Because it's just amazing. Like you have all your products there. It dilutes everything for you. Your bottles are empty. And I literally just gather up my bottles and I go stand at my chemtrol and just, I have no idea what things are diluted to. Keith does that for me and it's great.
Well, not just
great.
that,
but then I just don't have to worry about it, and and then the bucket fill is like the game changer for me. The bottles, okay, I could do that on my own, but the bucket fill, to be able to put your bucket on the floor and put the tube in and just push the button and you're not even worrying about the dilution or and then mine's hooked up to hot water. So great.
Well, for
Yeah,
me,
the chemtrail's awesome.
making sure my staff doesn't mix the glass
Yeah,
cleaner wrong, because I've learned
right.
some lessons over the years. The
Yep.
reason why the back of the bottle of Chemtrol has our dilution for a winter and for a summer blend, for our True View glass cleaner, is because in the winter you're
Hmm.
going to want it to be a different dilution than in the summer, because of the heat and the cold. It cleans better. So having those change, make sure my guys aren't leaving streaks on windows. I love it for EnviroClean to make it ready to use. So in the in the field we use the gallon, right, to dilute. But if we're
Hmm.
refilling bottles at home before we go, it's super quick and easy to do that.
Hmm.
Um, I have Tempest in there. I don't use it as often because I don't do that much heavy degreasing that way.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a great system and tool to have.
Yep. I love it.
Sorry, Tony.
Wes.
Hey, it's the end of the year, man. You got to make some purchases.
Yep. Yep. Wesley says, I just Googled Crystal Wash. It's in a category of its own. Yeah, it kind of is. It's a great product. I really love Crystal Wash. Just don't breathe when you
Yeah,
use it. Terry, I love this question. Opinions on Full Throttle. I love it. I love it.
he has me hooked
Um,
on it.
yeah, I love it. So honestly, I use Full Throttle with a blueberry from Buff and Shine, we also have that same pad in our double black collection. I use that honestly probably 85% of the time. So when doing, because I like to do paint enhancements before my coatings if I'm not doing a full correction. That is the one that you get the most correction out of, the most gloss from. It's so easy to wipe off. Absolutely incredible product. I love Full Throttle. Love it. Terry, heading to Hayward today. Mike, do you need anything? That's so nice.
Nice. Say
That's
hello to
awesome.
Stephen.
Terry, I need the all-in-one. Grab me a bottle. So, Mike, specify which all-in-one you want. If you want UCP 1987 or Playmaker. Eric says, I'm looking forward to the ceramic coating class in the near future. I most definitely agree that the classroom is great. I loved the tree with all the great ornaments. Yeah. And now, Eric, there's actually other special ornaments, but we'll keep those under wraps until MTE.
Yeah.
Terry says Crystal Wash is amazing. Terry's done a lot of reels on Crystal Wash lately. We're going to jam through these comments because I have a customer coming. Wesley, oh darn, I have to correct myself. Diamond Body does make the scratch resistant claim. Oops, I stand corrected. It's okay. You know what? And every other company, they can make whatever claims they want. Just for me in my business, even if I was installing a brand that made that claim, doesn't mean I have to communicate that to my customers. That's all I'm saying. So just be conscious of what you yourself are selling, not necessarily the company. Tony, no, it's awesome, but it's too far for Keith to come set it up.
I'll come, buddy.
You
Let's do
know,
it. I want to
yeah,
come up and visit you anyways.
yeah. Keith is like, maybe I could come.
All right, fine.
Oh, too funny. Too funny. He says he's in Palm Springs for the new year. It could happen. Could happen. Is there any way to have this sent? I live in New Hampshire. What do we think he's talking about? Crystal Wash, Chemtrol. You know what? We can send anything except for an eagle blower.
So New
For
Hampshire,
acid.
you can get all of your stuff in New Hampshire through Wipe On, Wipe Off, Wowo to Go out of Boston. They can set you up, and I will be there in January. So never know.
Cool.
So we're pretty much at the end of our time. That's why I
Cool.
dove in.
Yeah.
So hey guys, look, great week, great weekend, and an excellent show today. Thank you everybody for a great year. PNS really appreciates the support, the community. It's one of the things we value the most. So Merry Christmas to everybody on behalf of Bob and Dave and the whole team at PNS. And thanks Sydney and Kyle for a great year, Bead Maker and Coffee.
Yep, it's been great. All right, you guys have an awesome Christmas and New Year. And like I said at the beginning, we will not be back until January 9th because our next Bead Maker and Coffee would be scheduled for the 2nd. We felt like that was a little too close to the 1st. So we will be back on January 9th. Everybody have an awesome holiday.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya.